From cold cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know.
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
What is up, everybody? We're halfway through the week. How's everybody doing? Adam, my man. How's it going? Jax, how you doing? Hit the like button on your way in, y'all. And today we're talking about, well, so close to home, Madeline Soto's middle school, Hunter Creek Middle School. There's a predator that was arrested in the school for CSAM, and it went to a pretty high level because today I'm going to tell you about Homeland Security investigating him. This guy, go figure. And I guess it's not surprising for those of you in Florida that know about lately all of the trafficking in Florida happening. Oh my God, it's outrageous. I can't believe what's going on. Man, how you doing? I hope you're feeling better. I hope everybody that's had a day is having a better day now. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, all the things. Get a membership because Friday we're doing a members only. Good to see you, Naomi. Good to see you. And Foxy Amazon every day. Good to see you. Azuri Bella. I hope that's how you say it. Hello, everybody. Wow, this is crazy. So today I was going to cover Stephen Stearns and how to interrogate somebody that interrogate a killer or some known evil. And then we had some comparisons with people that are getting off parole after only 4 to 8 years of doing things to young children. Today I'm going to try to use words like trafficking and CSAM because the algorithm has not liked my language lately, and I don't blame YouTube. I wish we were a little more free, but we're not. So today, first I'm going to get into so you can see Hunter Creek Middle School. That is in fact Maddie's middle school, and it's so close to home that it made it to the Justice for Madeline Soto page, which is crazy because that's how I found this. One of the ladies from the page and the group that's been following us. Actually, let me just show you the middle school, Hunters Creek Middle School. This is in fact the school that Maddie went to. And yeah, I'm going to show you that at the end, Deborah. Busted Disney employee for trafficking this week. Thank you for bringing that up. At the end of this, I have a clip. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but it is about the Disney employee trafficking and many others. So I'm going to show you some of that, and then I'll give you a link to go take a look. Foxy Amazon, so I sent you a link on the Discord. I'm not on Discord very often, but I'll check it out. Thank you, everybody, for being here. That is Maddie's middle school, and it made it all the way to the Madeline Soto Justice for Madeline Soto page, because when you hear about this, no, it's not Stephen Stearns. Go figure. It's not Stephen Stearns. Yeah, it's CSAM, and we don't know what pictures yet, but they definitely connected it to that. There's so much. I'm going to get into that, Jax. I know you can't wait. I know that you can't wait to hear more, but I'm getting to it. No, it's not Stephen Stearns. This is Hunters Creek Middle School. All right. This guy that worked at Hunters Creek Middle School and Hunters Creek Middle School Boys and Girls Club. They found a ton of CSAM. Let me pull up a picture and then I'll read your article. Then we'll play the news clips. I know you guys can't wait. Everybody's like, wait, what? Yeah, this is so gross. It made it to the Justice for Madeline Soto page, and then they messaged me. Let me show you a picture of him, and then I'll read an article. I'm trying to be a little bit better about not saying the particular words. There he is. I'll pull this up. All right. So you can see local middle school, Hunters Creek Middle School, boys and girls employee accused of CP possession. And there's a lot more than just that. He's more than accused of it, people. They found stuff on his phone. All right. So I found this on the Justice for Madeline Soto page, and then they reached out to me. You're going to hear how scary it is when I actually start reading more about it. All right. So I'm going to tell you, let me pull up so you can see a picture of him, and then I will read an article. I'm trying to be really careful with the wording that I use because it won't get around. It won't get around if I do the wrong things or say the wrong things. Okay. So Orlando middle school employee arrested, charged with CSAM material. All right. So an Orlando middle school employee was arrested on charges of possessing CSAM. You know what that is, by the U.S. Attorney's Office, announced Monday morning. His name is Mitchell Regan, 36, of Leesburg, Florida. He could face up to 20 years in federal prison if convicted, according to the office's press release. Federal law enforcement officers searched Regan's home and cell phone Thursday, and they found materials during the search that he admitted to receiving and sending. All right, so I'm going to put it on here while I show you some handcuffs there. All right, so this got to a federal level. Yes, SARS, it's Madeline Soto School. That's how I got a hold of it. That's why they reached out to me. The ladies in Florida reached out to me. One of the ladies, I'm not even going to say who. It's not Jenny, but it's one of the ladies that I talk to all the time that's helped me with lots of breaking news stories from Madeline Soto. Reached out to me and said, you got to take a look at this. And she missed the news, so I said, I'll cover it for you all. Yes, it's Madeline Soto's school, Hunters Creek Middle School. Predator arrested for CSAM and possible trafficking. It's outrageous when you hear the things. He had girls, middle-aged girls, doing things with each other and older men. And he admitted, and it got all the way to Homeland Security. All right, so I'll read you the Homeland Security article. Let me see if this is it. Homeland Security investigations. Okay, a middle school employee of Hunters Creek was arrested on a criminal complaint charging him with possession of CSAM. Mitchell Regan, I'll show you a picture in a minute, faces 20 years. According to the complaint, Homeland freaking Security Investigations Orlando executed a search warrant at Regan's residence on October 17th during a search of his cell phone. The HSI computer forensic agent located an image of CS abuse material on his photo gallery. He admitted to agents that he sent and received CSAM using an online social media application. Regan also advised law enforcement that he's currently employed at a middle school and the Boys and Girls Club that teaches chess club and music lessons, y'all. So he was doing that with those middle school kids from the school. They found the photos. It will be prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorney Sarah Jeanette Schwartzberg. All right, so it got all the way to Homeland Security. I will not be surprised if at some point this is connected to Stefan, maybe trading stuff with him, maybe the Santa guy. I won't be surprised if it has to do with that, because lately there's been lots of trafficking in the Florida area and CSAM. They're in plain sight, and this was right at Maddie's school. Right at Maddie's school. All right. I want you guys to see a picture of him, but I don't want it to say CP on there, which you know what that means. So let me put this one up so you can see him while I'm talking. I want to make sure that this is able to get out to the ladies that want to see this. And what happens when I don't say the right words is it won't get out into the algorithm. All right. What child is safe anymore? I don't know. My daughter, I just picked her up from the Boys and Girls Club. All right. I picked her up from the Boys and Girls Club. And when I heard about this morning, I said, I have to report on this. This guy that you see in the picture there was trading and distributing young girls doing things with each other. Let me let Wes in. He acts like his leg got cut off. 1 second. All right, my dog is now marked safe, y'all. Wes is marked safe from Diddy. Reese is home and Wes is marked safe from Diddy. There we go. Yeah, unbelievable how close to home this was. You're going to hear about it right now We're gonna get into it, and then we're gonna go over a few things so you guys that roll in can hear everything that's happened and just understand the gravity of this. I'm gonna show you the Facebook page that highlighted this. Yeah, he's an evil chomo, and we are going to talk about the Disney employee trafficking where there was a Disney member. All right, let's see. There's many articles on this. So while we're looking at that, again, OCALA, Florida, United States Attorney Roger B. Handberg announces the arrest of Mitchell Regan, 36 years old, into middle school girls, 10 to 13-year-old girls. He was got arrested. They charged him with a criminal complaint charging him possession of CSAM. He faces up to 20 years, according to the plate. Homeland Security had a search warrant for his residence in October, and they found a photo gallery of girls doing things with other girls, with adults, etc. He was trading them and receiving them. All right. The complaint is merely a formal charge that a defendant has committed one or more violations of federal criminal law, and every defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty. The case is investigated by Homeland Security and Orange County Sheriff's Office. It will be prosecuted by Assistant United States Attorney Sarah Jeanette Swartzberg. This is yet another case as part of the Project Safe Childhood. It's a nationwide initiative launched in 2006 by the Department of Justice to combat the growing epidemic of CS and child exploitation and abuse. Now, it's led by the United States Attorney's Office and resources to locate, apprehend, and prosecute individuals who exploit children in the SA abuse, and identify, and they try to rescue the children so that it doesn't happen what happened to Madeline Soto. All right. Yeah, for Homeland Security, let's talk about that for a minute. For Homeland Security to be involved, this guy his name must be an alias, but he must be involved with something bigger. And I can imagine him being, and I don't normally speculate like this, but I can imagine him being involved with that Santa operation. And I can imagine Stephen Stearns being involved in trading pictures with this guy, maybe not even knowing him, trading videos, trading pictures with this guy and others. I cannot believe that the Boys and Girls Club's name even came up, because my daughter has been in the Boys and Girls Club since she was in first grade. Okay, I can't, because they have guys working there, and I always look at them side-eyed. Why don't they do background checks? Why don't they have more security? Well, they don't. They're not using their funding for that. All right, so do me a favor and hit the like button if you like the content I put out. Subscribe if you haven't. All right, well, it is handled by Homeland Security, but it doesn't always start there. If there's an allegation, it will go to the local police department, and then it gets pushed to higher ups. People don't know to call Homeland Security and say, hey, what do I do here? So it starts from a smaller place, and when Homeland Security gets involved, there's a problem. They're looking at a bigger picture than just this guy. What's up, Millie? Good to see you. Love you. Yes, my blood is boiling too. Can you imagine? I keep thinking, what if Maddie was still alive? What if she was still alive? What if this had happened after all this happened to her? Would this be another thing that she'd have to deal with? Would it be happening to her? Former CEO in Abercrombie & Fitch just got arrested for trafficking, Lori says. It happens all the time. They said it was a cyber tip, Kiki Doll says. Lori, are you serious? I saw he was arrested. Thank you. It's been my view from the beginning. News showing. Yeah, I literally didn't want to connect the two until I started seeing more and more. All right, let's listen to this. Let me turn it up. And I'm trying to cut out all the bad CP words, but we'll see what I could do.
West 2's Dave McDaniel live at Orange County School District headquarters. And Dave, investigators say the man was also involved with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, that's right. This 36-year-old worked as a school secretary, but now he is in jail and off the job. This all came after a cyber tip directed investigators to take.
Oh my God, the school secretary. Don't even tell me this. And hey, Sea Life, Man, my daughter almost every day goes into the office and there's a school secretary that's known her since before she went to the school. She takes care of her. She does the note. If she goes in and doesn't feel good, the secretary is one of the main points of contact at my school. So to hear this disgusting, evil guy was the secretary of this school and had access to so many children. Do you see this guy? I mean, he's just in plain sight and nobody knew it. Cyber tip.
Take a look at his alleged online behavior.
I was notified by law enforcement that an employee at our school was arrested in another county.
36-year-old Mitchell Regan is in the Marion County Jail and will appear in federal court Tuesday. The federal complaint said he possessed several child sex images, including underage females engaged in sexual activity with an adult male inside of a vehicle, and that his fantasy age of preference was high school age.
Do you hear that? I mean, is your blood not boiling already? I mean, his fantasy age of preference was high school age, and he was at a middle school. It is like that at most schools. It is. And, both of my children have gone to public school, and I've relied heavily on the school to communicate with me and also to take care of my children while they're there. So this is just unbelievable. Yeah, another sick case. We definitely, Michelle, we can't trust anyone getting to where we can't even let our kids out of our sight at all. I agree. It's very hard. Hello to Leavenworth. Yeah, just disgusting, y'all. And I do want to make sure that we get this onto the Justice for Madeline Soto page. I'm going to go to that next after I play one more clip. Yeah, he's nobody's fantasy, but he is a guy that everybody trusted. A cyber tip. I wonder how this got, and as it unfolds, how this got to where it got. As this unfolds, I will keep you posted. It did make headlines, number one, because it's a big deal. Number two, because it hit Hunters Creek Middle School, which Madeline Soto went to and is no longer with us. So it has gotten more attention. A lot of people don't, a lot of cases don't get this amount of attention, but Madeline Soto and anything that is close to her gets a lot of attention. All right, do me a favor, y'all. Get your memberships before Friday if you can. Gift them if you can. I appreciate it. And thank you. Yeah, against logic. Absolutely. His fantasy age of preference was high school age.
Adding that he used the content of younger children to trade for other images.
He should not be working with kids. That's the only thing I think of.
That from a parent outside Hunters Creek Middle School. Regan told investigators he worked at an Orange County middle school and that he also worked for Boys and Girls Club at Hunters Creek Middle. Boys and Girls Club responding with, "This individual has been terminated, will no longer have access to our programs or facilities," adding, "We have no reason to believe this arrest is related to or impacts any students in our after-school zone program."
I would hope not, folks. I would hope not, because many of us rely on after-school programs, and Starzy, this is what I'm talking about today. When I saw this connected to Justice for Madeline Soto, I wondered if he had any communication, whether he knew it or not, with Stephen Stearns and Santa Claus, that whole operation. There has to be more to this, and all the trafficking going on and all the CSAM being traded and distributed. There has to be more to this. And they're not going to know, though. They're not going to know until the bigger operation starts to piece things together, to find IP addresses. They will find out eventually. They will. They could. We won't know right now, and it's not something that they're going to disclose. Hunter Creek is actually a good neighborhood, but it doesn't matter with these pigs. 222. Do me a favor. Say a prayer for the children that were involved in this, that have to live through this, but get to live through this, because Maddie didn't get to live through this. She didn't get to see this. Even though this is terrible, she didn't get to recover from this. Instead, Stephen Stearns took her life, and Jen Soto helped. In my opinion, she helped by not stopping it. So, yeah, this is absolutely, I mean, Florida, there are a lot of things happen. And the reason that Yolanda, Maddie's grandma, used her address to send Maddie to Hunters Creek Middle School is because it's a better school. All right. And I'm sure that he had a lot of different kinds of accounts that Stephen Stearns had, and even our children like Maddie, Roblox, and all those games that children have that chomos are attracted to. Happy 420, Foxy Amazon. Thank you for gifting the One Guilty of Crime membership. I do appreciate that. All right. I need to demand our Boys and Girls Club must do background checks. These creeps. Exactly. I have been in touch with the Boys and Girls Club, the head of the Boys and Girls Club, since my son went there 16, 17 years ago. So I do need to ask her after today, especially. But when I see guys in there and I see guys with the children, no offense, guys, but it freaks me out a little bit. It does freak me out a little bit. Maddie's watching over her classmates. Yeah, I agree. I hope they get the attention. I took my kids to see Santa, but today I don't feel comfortable taking my grandkids, which is sad in itself. But you're right. You're absolutely right. All right, let's finish this up. We'll listen to the next one, and then go check out the Justice for Madeline Soto page.
Graham. The complaint says Regan holds a position of public trust with regular access to children. Regan admitted sending and receiving the images, telling investigators he deleted everything a few months ago because he felt bad about it. Regan said he thinks he traded the images to recapture a previous relationship.
Did you hear that? He traded the images to recapture a previous relationship, folks. And he was in a role of power. Sea Life, where you been? This is Madeline Soto's school. All right, listen, y'all, if you just came in, this is breaking news. It just came out today. It just hit me today, and it hit the Justice for Madeline page yesterday, or Monday. I'm sorry, today's Wednesday. It happened on Monday afternoon. Madeline Soto School, Hunters Creek Middle School. This guy was secretary, had lots of access to the children, and was in a power position, was trading and distributing CSAM. Oh, I can't. And the reason it hit the big news, I believe, is because Maddie, yeah, he deleted it because Stefan got busted, right? I wonder how long this was going on for.
Relationship. An unnamed woman said she met Regan online years ago when she was 16, and he groomed her to do sexual acts, and that she sent Regan nude photos and video. They eventually met in person, but after she was over 18.
This individual will not be returning to school during the investigation.
And according to Orange County Public Schools, Mitchell Regan is on administrative leave right now while the school district participates in this.
And you guys tell me, why administrative leave? Is it the whole innocent until proven guilty thing? Oh, man. Can somebody help Lisa out? Get a membership, please. Can someone send her a link to the membership button? Why? And this is going to lead me to another thing, because tomorrow when we do the deception detective, how to interrogate a killer, we're also going to do an interview with a chomo that was paroled. A 40 or 50 year sentence. He was paroled. He had parole after 10 years. You guys tell me why. Is it because it's a members union? Why administrative leave? I really, yeah, they don't test either. They don't test. They don't background check. Why? When my mom was working at a school and she was the accountant, they did testing for drugs and background checks. But why not do this when you're in a power position? I just can't understand this. I for the life of me.
This investigation with law enforcement. Reporting live in Orange County, Dave McDaniel, West 2 News.
All right. So for those of you questioning, is it in Florida? Absolutely, it's in Florida. Not only is it in Florida, but it's at Maddie's school. All right. Here's another one right here. Each one has a little bit different information. And for you ladies that wanted to see this, that messaged me, you know who you are. Here it is. Once I'm done with this, we can share it on the page. Oh, man. I don't know how to, Lucky. I'm not sure how to put the gifting option down. I don't know how to turn it off or on, but if somebody could send Lucky or drop a membership link. Synth, can you drop a membership link for Lucky? All right, Bean, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. I'm very heated today about this. I can't believe that this guy was in a power position, and for how long? Now, you say Florida schools require background screening and fingerprinting, but did they not catch this guy? Oh man, how'd they not catch this guy? All right, let's listen to this one. It's a little bit different information.
West 2 Spencer Tracy joins us from headquarters of the Orange County Public School System with the latest from investigators.
We're gonna look
That's
at
right.
that
And he
after.
also worked at the Boys and Girls Club at Hunter's Middle School as well, where he taught chess and music lessons. Prosecutors say he held such a public position where he had regular access to children. And that's what makes this even more disturbing. We spoke with parents and they say they were shocked to hear this. Now, this is the employee who was arrested. It's 36-year-old Mitchell Regan. He's currently being held in the Marion County Jail. The federal complaint says he had several child sex images on his.
I mean, look at this guy. You can't tell. I mean, you look at him and you're like, yeah, against all logic, you can say he most likely didn't have a record on file. How long was he doing this for? Millie, you say this was October 17th. Yes, but we just heard about it on Monday. So maybe it was last Monday. You can't look at these guys before and say this guy's a monster. You just can't tell. Graciela, thank you for the gift, the one guilty of crime membership. I want to thank you also. Reese thanks you. She got all of her gifts from you and she loves them. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, you can say that. You can say, we can all say he looks like a loser to me, but what if he wasn't? How do we differentiate that guy from Stephen Stearns, from Santa, from the whole Santa ring? How do you say that? So you can have mandatory background checks all you want, but it's just not cutting it, people. It's not cutting it. These people, there are people like this guy everywhere. People like him intentionally seek jobs. And we're going to get to that next. We're going to get to that with the Disney employee busted in Florida human trafficking sting. Nabbed 157 suspects. We're probably not going to listen to the entire thing, but if you guys have heard about that, let me know. I'm going to play that next after we go over this. Unbelievable. All right.
His phone. Prosecutors say he preferred high school age images, but used images of younger children to trade. The Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida sent West to a statement saying that Regan was fired and will no longer have access to their programs or facilities. The organization goes on to say that it has no reason to believe this arrest is related to or impacts any students in their after-school zone program. Regan admitted to sending and receiving the pictures, but said he deleted everything a few months ago because he, quote, felt bad about it. Now, the principal at Hunters Creek Middle School says during the investigation, he will not return to any of the schools.
Now, do you all think that he felt bad about it because Stephen Stearns got busted? And, that's a good question. At this point, we can't rule out anything, Superfly. We have no idea what's happening, what's going on behind the scenes, and we won't know until we get a press conference like the press conference that we saw with the Disney employee and the 157 people that got nabbed. Yeah, you think so, Kiki Doll? I was thinking that too. I was thinking that he saw this thing that went down with Stephen Stearns, and I don't know about him feeling bad about it. You're right, Patronus. I don't think so. Hello, Avis. Good to see you. All right.
Now, as for Regan, he is due back in court this afternoon in Marion County. Of course, we will continue to stay on this story. I'm reporting in Orlando this morning. I'm Spencer Tracy, West 2 News.
All right. So that means he was back in court, and we're going to start hearing more things about him. Thank you, Jack Stormo. 4 months being a guilty of crime crew. Something's fishy and stinking. Right. Absolutely disgusting. Even Ashton Kutcher was fighting for children, and though he was a lot of girls' eye candy, he was friends with all these. Yeah, he hard to differentiate. I'm pretty sure he was hanging with Danny Masterson too. There's something going on with that as well. I think he got spooked. You can't tell. You cannot tell the difference nowadays, folks. Maui Bell, same school as Maddie, and Stearns drove by his house. Also his roommate himself. Wow. I wonder if it had anything to do with that and them looking into it. All right, let's take a look at the Justice for Maddie page, or Justice for Madeline Soto page. I want to say that right so you guys I can make sure that you guys get onto that page. Justice for Madeline Soto page. And thank you for everybody that sent me an email or information about this. All right. Let's share the Justice for Madeline page. If you guys are not subscribed to this, please get subscribed to this page. There's a lot of information about the case and new information about other things, as you can tell here. All right. Indy says, when I was young, I worked with a guy who was the nicest guy. He was helpful and friendly. He also had a boy he took care of, looked like a big brother. Well, that's what he turned out to be. I'm sure, like somebody said earlier, people get into these positions of power for what? To have access to young children. Sue, bless you. Thank you so much for the 5 guilty of crime memberships. All right. I can't hear anything. Evil Alaska. I agree. It's only going to show up if they have a background, but it's better that they do that and they do drug testing, etc., so we can get and find these people, and so that a guy like this can't go into another school and go do that to somebody else, to do that to other children. Yeah, I've been watching the Quentin trial too, Quentin Simon. I've been watching that, and Sarah Boone. All right, y'all, let's take a look at this, and then we'll go into all the other things. The Disney employee. Now, they do call it a Disney employee busted in Florida, and it goes on to all kinds of other topics like illegals and etc. So if you haven't seen it, we're going to watch it after this. All right, so Hunters Creek Middle School secretary arrested for CSAM. This was Maddie's middle school. He said he used the content of younger girls to trade for older high school children, which is what his preference was. I wonder if Kissimmee police are starting to link up folks who maybe were selling to Stefan. Who knows? Very disturbing. And then they got the pictures of this guy here, which is good to kind of see. Obviously, people were in that area, and this is not my TV, so this is somebody that posted this. I think Maria posted this, and this guy had regular access to children. What do you guys think? They're busting Disney employees left and right. What do you guys feel about Disney now? Do you feel like you want to take your children to Disney? Do you feel like you trust those people there? Not me. Yeah, me too, Direct Current. And I have a feeling that they're going to link the trafficking and the CSAM back to Stefan Stearns and the Santa ring operation at some point. Millie, I think you missed that. I have the whole news. I don't use WhatsApp, so you'd have to email me. Yeah, Disney has a problem too. Millie, if you can email me, I can't pull up WhatsApp anywhere, but I copied. I've got lots of news articles. All right, so what we can do now, since we've gone over this, I just wanted you guys to be aware. Hunters Creek Middle School, Maddie's school, out everyone's outraged in that area and wondering why this is happening. How did this happen? Is this a bigger thing? We just don't know yet. I know that he went to court, and we're going to find out. If you have any information, Millie, let us know. Superfly says, I bet Stefan Stearns is snitching like a big bird. Yeah, I haven't wanted to go to Disney for a while after hearing this, so there's that. All right. Do me a favor. If you guys want to continue, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Let's talk about the Disney employee bust in Florida and the human trafficking, and how is it intertwined with this? How is it intertwined? All right, let's pull this down. Yeah, I mean, this is just surface level that we're getting information on. I think it's like a spider web too. I think everything's intertwined, but how are we going to find out? Are they going to let us know what's going to happen with this? So Disney employee busted. Let's listen. Nabbed 157 suspects, and we're going to see some of them.
Now, this is such a popular thing in Florida. You come to Florida on vacation. A lot of people want to leave on probation. and this time was was not different than any other time. People came from 9 other states in order to be arrested in Polk County, Florida. I take that as a great compliment. They were from California, New York, Nevada, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, and one came to us all the way from the UK. So I don't know how our jails and lockups compare to the UK, but we have a subject matter expert now. 26 of those were married. The youngest John we arrested was 15. The oldest one was 61. We added 35 new felony charges and 201 misdemeanor charges as a result of this operation. What's interesting is that there were 327 prior felony charges that had been filed against these people. So we weren't dealing with a lot of people who just stumbled in by mistake. And there were 455 prior misdemeanor charges filed against these people. Now, these that we arrested, some of the charges included 2 counts of homicide or 2 people charged with homicide. Apparently those were all processed in the process, vehicle homicide, kidnapping, robbery, and a sundry of other charges. So there was some very bad people that we arrested. Now, for just a moment, I want to focus on what I think is a huge concern. And that huge concern is those that came here illegally. So I'm going to roll out a couple of things for you. First, I want you to see this chart.
Now, before we start this, y'all remember it's political season. Politics are coming around. How is that going to affect this? Keep an eye out for this. Disney was one of the only places Stearns actually would work. That does have to say a lot to me. And Scary Sherry, if you didn't see that, I thanked you in the chat. Thank you so much for the $20 Cash App. You're amazing, and I love you. Thank you for supporting the channel and everything else that you do all the time. I appreciate you. All right, let's keep going.
Chart. 25 illegal immigrants were arrested in this operation. They were from Venezuela, Cuba, Colombia, Guatemala, Honduras, and Mexico. 16% of these total arrests were people who should not even have been in this country, but they were here. And they were here because we have a federal government that enabled these criminals to come into the country and then treated them very well after the criminals came here illegally. So let me share a story with you, and then I'm going to read a quote for you and then let you see a video. The prostitutes that came here, several of them had to pay off a coyote debt. Some of them said, hey, we did it because it was easy money. Others said, well, we came here and we were illegal. We couldn't get employment, so we turned to prostitution. Some of them said we were threatened and our family was threatened if we did not prostitute for the coyotes or for the human traffickers. So I'm going to tell you one story about one of our suspects, Maria, and that's not her real name. She's from Venezuela. She made a conscious decision to come to this country to commit crime. She flew into Mexico from Venezuela. She walked across from Juarez, Mexico, into El Paso, Texas, with her 1-year-old child, where she was greeted by the Border Patrol. Did you hear what I said? She was greeted by the Border Patrol. Greeted. There was no sneaking. She flew in. She got here. She simply walked.
Do you guys think that the Border Patrol, just like many other officers that we know, are corrupt? Do you think the Border Patrol has corrupt Border Patrol that lets them? And that's a question that you guys probably are going to say, Jay, what do you think? There's corrupt cops, there's bad cops. Of course there's corrupt Border Patrol that are just letting you pay and and let them in and do whatever they want, bring bodies through, bring drugs through. Yep, I see the chats here. Yep. So if we have bad, dirty cops, we're absolutely going to have these people that are trafficking people and all of the other things, corrupt and or overwhelmed. Yeah, I'd say corrupt. I'd say that they're letting things through, and there's a huge level of corruptness at a very high level. This is not just these people here. It's higher than that.
Walk across the open border. There is no border security at the southern border. Zero. It doesn't exist. So when she was greeted, and you'll understand why we use that term in a minute, you'll understand that she went to the Border Patrol processing, where in one day she completed the processing and was released to a facility, a holding facility, a housing facility for immigrants. She said I was given a DNA test to make sure that my DNA matched my child's. He was given a DEA test to make sure he was really my child.
DNA.
She said once that occurred, they set me down and they told me all about the benefits that I would get in the United States. She said I was eligible.
Now, keep in mind, there's a corruptness that we're saying, Patronus, you're right, way higher than that. And then you start looking at Epstein and you start looking at Diddy and you see Clinton on the Epstein island. And you go back to the 1980s and you see the guys that bought islands to take boys to reform that they were raping. How does that all tie in together, you ask? Money is how it ties in together. And Graciela, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Jay. We love and appreciate your work. So glad, Reese, and you got all the presents. Just saw all the pics. T-shirt looks good. Yeah, she loved it. Thank you. Thank you all. And you guys know I love you so much. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I never have a problem with telling me about good creators in my chat. Just do me a favor. No shameless stuff in here. We're a little bit not on that level right now. Thank you for your commitment and shining light on the victims for these dark crimes. Much love. Thank you so much. I don't know if it's gray, but thank you for the $4.99 super chat. And I believe it's all connected as well. Paid off from many different ways. Direct current. I'm glad that you've got a membership. I cannot wait until this Friday.
Well, and I had to fill out these forms so that I could get those benefits. She said, so I fill forms out for Medicaid, for SNAP, which is money for food. She said I was given free travel from the border to Chicago. When I got to Chicago, I couldn't find gainful employment there. So I thought, what the heck? I'll go to Florida. And then I got to fly to Florida. She was giving free housing, all because the United States paid for that. That's right. You, the taxpayers, got to pay for that.
Us.
So this was all simply walking across the border. She said it was unbelievable to me. But let me read her quote, because understand, she walked across the border. This was not a stealthful act. And then they gave her free travel, free housing, free food, free medical care. All why people from the hurricane are still waiting for help. Let me read in English, and then we're going to play the video clip she agreed to do if we'd use another name. When I passed through immigration, they sat me down and explained to me all the benefits I was eligible for. I was told I could apply for government assistance. I could apply for health medical insurance for my son, and I could apply for food assistance. After I finished talking to immigration, a short time passed until a DNA test was done on me and my son to prove that he was my son. Then they set me down with other people who were also waiting and had already qualified to be released. Then they explained to us that the documents we had in our hands were our personal identification in the United States, and we could use the documents to travel on buses and airplanes. They also explained to us that we could use those documents to apply for our documents to become legal here. And after that, they explained all.
Yeah, who are they lied to by, Sea Life? That's what we want to know. Us who are U.S. citizens can't get much. And I agree so much. The older I get, the more I understand. When I get a paycheck that's $10,000, and that's normally that's my monthly income from what I do for work, I only get like 6,700 of it after all my taxes are taken out. So I'm sure many of you are in that same predicament. It's sad. And then insurance for my daughter and myself is $700-800 a month. Nancy Jean, thank you so much for the $2.99 super sticker. Thank you all for helping. And, all opinions here are welcome. You guys are allowed to talk political if you want in chat. Just be nice. Politics season is here and elections are coming. But yeah, let's just, definitely be nice. Yeah, income is taxes are outrageous, and this is outrageous hearing this.
After they explained all of the benefits, they said, welcome to the United States of North America. And from there, they transported us to a refugee camp. And all of this occurred in one day. So welcome to the United States. This is someone who just crossed the border illegally and to commit crime. And they were not only welcome to the United States, but then they were giving all kinds of benefits. at the cost of the taxpayer. So let's listen to her in her words, and then we'll move on from there to other topics.
Bueno, cuando pasé, me sentaron, me explicaron todos los beneficios que tenía, que podía recurrir a ayudas del gobierno, podría recurrir a seguros para el niño, seguros médicos, podía recurrir a ayuda para el solamente, ayuda de comida. Y allí, bueno, después que terminé de hablar con las personas, pasó un ratito que me hicieron la prueba de ADN para ver que mi hijo, o sea, no, era mi hijo, pues para comprobar que era mi hijo. Y después allí me sentaron en unas sillas con las otras personas que habían calificado ese día para salir. Y ahí nos explicaron que los documentos que nos estaban en nuestras manos, pues era como nuestra identificación aquí en Estados Unidos, que con eso podíamos viajar en bus, en avión, que con eso podíamos sacar nuestros papeles más legalmente aquí. Y después que nos explicaron todo eso de las ayudas y toda la cuestión, pues nos dijeron bienvenidos a los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica y ya decimos que era un refugio y salimos de viaje.
Now understand there are 4 women listed here as human trafficking victims that were smuggled across the border in addition to her. 2 of the human trafficking victims admitted they had to pay off a coyote debt of $6,000.
Wow.
Make no mistake about it, the government is complicit and is aiding and abetting human trafficking in the United States because they're creating an environment for people to start out here at more than they amassed where they came from. In addition to that, there is a wide open border where fentanyl is coming across, and that is encouraged. And as a result of that, we have thousands upon thousands of people dying in the United States. And then the best that our federal politicians can say was, well, it didn't kill as many people this year as last year.
Wow.
I don't even need to comment more about that. All the while, we have people that are suffering that have not received help yet from the federal government as a result of the hurricanes in North Carolina and in Florida and Polk County. The aid's not come through yet. There are people, irrespective of the hurricanes, in this nation that need help, that need support, but they don't get that support that these folks get for coming across the border illegally. When are we going to get tired of this? When have we had enough?
I'm tired of this. I've had enough of that. This is insane. I mean, yeah, we have to have a way to solve this problem. Oh, how do we solve this problem in a mature manner? How do we do that? Anybody have any suggestions for that? Other than getting angry and upset because we're tired of it?
What have we said? When are we going to say the hardworking people in the United States are who we need to be taking care of? Not creating an environment and encouraging people to come across the border illegally in violation of federal law, and then welcoming them to the United States and showering them with gifts at the taxpayer's expense, while people in our own nation are not receiving what they should receive. And here's the human trafficker we were able to arrest. Travis Hutchinson, he's 25. He lives in Davenport.
All right, y'all, maybe there is a facial hair thing when it comes to just a joke, but we were talking about chomos earlier and facial hair. I'm wondering what's the correlation between the two. It is very upsetting. And I break the monotony sometimes of telling a joke, but we definitely need to not just learn to love each other. We need to learn to love ourselves, whether we're dealing with demons from being abused from a different generation, or our mothers being abused and then abusing us and us abusing children, or being abused ourselves. We need to learn to work through that before we can try to solve these problems with other people. That's the thing. That won't happen until we address our own issues.
Who was dealing with 2 females, one from Colombia and one from Venezuela. Now, the Colombian came to Mexico, to California, and then to here. She was recruited by a coyote who took her to the border and said, all you have to do is walk across. Understand, the coyotes weren't even having to smuggle or hide them in vehicles and bring them across the border late at night. The coyote now rounds you up, takes you to the border, and says, walk right through here and go into that processing center. Well, our Colombian victim and our Venezuelan victim of human trafficking met there. And then they were flown from California to Florida. Now, Travis was here. He was talking to the coyote in California who said, I'm sending them to you. and they had to work to pay off the debt. Travis would set up the appointments. They were having to turn as many as 20 tricks a day apiece in order to pay off their debt. So they were paying the coyote.
How about finish building the wall, Pam Williams? How about we finish something that we start? How about that? How about we don't start something and then change because politicians change and now all of our efforts went for nothing? That's what I'm for. Let's finish something.
Debt off. They would then pay in Travis, and he was setting up all of these operations. Oh, they can even use Cash App if you don't have cash. It's amazing to me. So Travis, when they would refuse or say, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore, he would slap and choke one of our victims and threaten them if they did not get out and go back to work. It is exciting. If this operation had only involved his arrest, it would have been a success. But let me go over a few more of the arrests. Now, what would an autumn sweep operation be? What would any of our undercover operations be where we're dealing with human trafficking, prostitution, child predators without Disney? We always arrest Disney employees. This is Ubane.
Here we go, y'all. This was the Disney employee busted in Florida human trafficking sting that nabbed 150 suspects. Finally, to the Disney people. Look at those cases. Look at those faces closely. They look like many other people's faces. And Bree, I wanted to text you, but you don't have your phone. So Bree, if you're on here, I'm going to text you. Let me know if you have your phone back. Oh.
Enos Muta, he's 28 from Davenport. He's a wood carving artist when he's not soliciting prostitution. This is Kyle Widmeyer. He's 20 from Philadelphia. He works as a custodian for Disney. He said he just moved to Florida at the end of September from Philadelphia. Well, Kyle, welcome to Florida. Welcome to Polk County.
Welcome to Florida.
And there's Juan Albino. He's 35. He's from Haines City. He works backstage utilities. Oh, by the way, he's married and had a wife at home. And of course, being patriotic, people wanting to have sex, there's the military members. Juan Barrio, who's 47. He's a disabled vet. He was born in Columbia. Norrell Cooper from Orlando, Navy Reserve supply clerk. He's stationed in Jacksonville. Then there's Alejandro Parra. He's 20 from Davie, Florida. He's a paralegal in the Army, stationed in Orlando. You know what he told us? I literally do this at my job, meaning he processes paper for soldiers that are arrested. Well, heck, when he bonds out, he can go process his own paperwork. You know what I mean? And then I always like to point out the loyal husbands who leave their wives or fiancés at home while they have sex. So here's Leanthony Williams. He was arrested on Friday, October the 4th.
Thank the Lord for that. This is crazy. And think about how many STDs these guys are bringing. Maybe even more than STDs, folks. Maybe they're spreading HIV. Maybe HIV is spreading. Maybe like really bad STDs. All kinds of things that their wives and people are getting because they're doing this. Their unsuspecting wives, their children. I mean, what's happening here with those people? What's happening in general? I mean, this is not something that we haven't heard of before. It's just we're hearing of it now, and thankfully they're being used as a poster, the poster childs here. So do me a favor, hit the like button because I do want to get this spread out there. I want people to see this and pay attention to it, watch it, share it. Man, this is, I mean, if one unsuspecting mother or wife, that too, see life, that too, one suspecting mother or wife, something happens, HIV is an STD, right? But I just wanted you to know the gravity of, I guess HIV, it's down a little bit because they have medication, but STD, we should say uncurable STDs, ones that don't go away. How about that? And then we don't have to name all of them. Thank you, Foxy Amazon.
Just before he was to get married on Tuesday, 4 days later. The fiance was out of town at the time, and hey, he had some spare time on his hands. What can you say? You know, his quote was, I hope she doesn't find out. Well, newsflash, it's going to be on every station, on social media. You know, she's going to find out. Then there's Jonathan Webster. He came all the way from the UK, from England. He was here on a 2-week vacation with his fiance, and his fiance thought he was going to Walmart. Well, it was a Walmart of sorts. It was a Walmart of sex, a Walmart to get caught. But Jonathan.
Well, I'm not going to name all them, but yeah, it's like a bad case of herpes. It just won't go away. It's like some people in my chat are like a bad case of herpes. I just can't get rid of them. All right, let's go.
Jonathan's fiance now knows that he wasn't at Walmart. He was at Grady Mart. Dominique Price, 30, from Mineola. His fiance is pregnant. He told her that he was going to the gym for a little exercise. I guess you could call that exercise. He was arrested on Friday, October 4th, but that's okay. He had 2 days to bond out before the baby was due on Sunday. And then there's always the previous sting arrest. You know, Tommy Thomas, 28, from Haines City. He was arrested in 2019. He said, hey, I had such a great time getting arrested by the sheriff's office and the team of detectives from the police departments. I think I'll go back and get arrested again. So that's what happened. And then Jose Perez says, well, you're not by yourself. I'm 38. I'm from Haines City.
Yeah.
And he was arrested in 2017. His wife thought he was at work. Then there's Evans Joseph Jr. He was a prostitute, not a John. He was arrested in 2022 for offering to commit prostitution. And then this was kind of one of my favorites, so I gave him his own card by himself. Darren Sandiardo, he's 43. He's from Brentwood, New York. He's a volunteer firefighter, has been for 25 years. He's here on vacation. He's married with a 5-year-old son, charged with solicitation. So there you go. But in addition to our human trafficker, if we only made these 3 arrests, it would have been a success. Because you see, in addition to a human trafficking operations, we're also doing a child predator operation. These 3 folks traveled to the undercover location thinking they were going to have sex with a child. That's right. These are what we call pedophile or dangerous child.
And this is scary because this is not something that happens sometimes. This happens all the time. And somebody in chat earlier said this is happening as we sit here. As we sit here and speak, there's probably 10 different things, more than that, but you can multiply that, whatever you want. But there can be somebody in your apartment building happening 3 doors down. I'm not in an apartment building, but it could be 3 doors down in a house. It's happening all the time. And we just need more awareness to it. And we need more of, if you think something with your gut feeling, see something, say something. But even if you don't see it and you're thinking it, do us all a favor and turn somebody in. Say something. If you think your husband's out there doing that, bring it up to him. Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely get into all that with the Hollywood, Feldman, Haim, Nickelodeon, Disney. Disney cartoons. When you go back and look at the cartoons, there's a bunch of sex scenes in there. Come on. Why are they showing pinky winkies in there? Why are they putting balls in there and boy parts, girl parts? Why are they doing that?
Child sex predators. Michael Gillis is from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Now there's a story about that.
Yes.
He was arrested in Minnesota for trying to have sex with a 14-year-old little boy. Not only was he arrested for trying to have sex with a 14-year-old little boy, but he was out on an $85,000 bond from that charge. So he came to Orlando to work as a videographer. And he thought, well, I'm out on bond. Heck, let me go see if I can pick up a 14-year-old in Florida. And that's what he did. He showed up at our operation and he was promptly arrested again for trying to have sex with a 14-year-old little boy, where he was put in jail on a $72,000 bond and required to have an ankle monitor. Well, you would think Minnesota would revoke his bond and say, hey, if you're out, you've got children at risk. But, he hasn't been to trial yet. They haven't even revoked his bond. Minnesota's not even trying to arrest him. Now, we're working with the police up there that are working very hard to try to get him rearrested on their charges. Because after all, he didn't make his October 10th court appearance in Minnesota because he was tied up here. Now he's out on a bond wearing an ankle monitor and he can't leave the state. So I don't know how he answers to the charges up there until he answers to the charges here. But at the end of the day, he made admissions to us. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the classic example. If these child predators are not locked up, children are in danger. And you would think You would think that he would be afraid or scared or worried from his arrest in Minnesota doing the same thing. He would at least behave for a while. No, he comes right back to Florida, does the same thing. And then there's Ezekiel Mija from Haines City. Yeah. He's here illegally. So here's an example. I want the current administration, the federal government, to understand, because you encourage, because you don't have any border security, that you are not only allowing, but encouraging.
Veganista, great minds think alike. I am very interested. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play one of Mandu's videos tomorrow when I do the Stephen Stearns how to interrogate a killer, as well as how to see through evil with Mandu's channel. I absolutely have watched almost every one of those videos and lock them up, but they get out with a 40-year sentence. They end up out in 4 years, and they don't even have to answer the parole questions right. You guys are going to need this little guy or this evil potato when I play Mandu's channel and I comment on it for you. You guys are going to be outraged. So buckle up tomorrow, because you're going to be outraged. I'm telling you. Oh man, you guys are going to be so mad. Grab your wine glasses, but not too much.
Illegal people to come into this country to commit crime, to include child sex predators. He came here illegally, and his goal was to find a 14-year-old child and have sex with her. And that's what he was trying to do if it weren't for our great detectives that stopped it. They travel, folks. They actually showed up at a strange house in a strange community, in a strange neighborhood, in a strange county to have sex with a child. That's how dangerous. And he told them during his communication with what he thought was a 14-year-old child, you know, I could get in big trouble if I get caught. You think? Oh, by the way, did I tell you he's married with a 7-year-old daughter?
Of course.
And he sent his wife and daughter to North Carolina because of the threat of the storm. And he thought, hey, my wife and daughter are gone. The storm's not here yet. I'll just go see if I can have sex with a 14-year-old little girl. And then there's Brandon Ford. He's 28 from Kissimmee. He tried to have sex with a 14-year-old little girl. Newsflash, he is a lifeguard at Disney Art of Animation Resort. So he gets to be a lifeguard and sit up and look at children all day long while Disney's paying him. Did I tell you he's engaged to be married too?
Again, these people put themselves in these positions for a reason. If you guys ever get a chance, watch the documentary on the Boy Scouts, the original Boy Scouts, and still what happens in Boy Scouting today are Boy Scouts. These chomos will sit there and tell you, they'll do an interview and tell you, I love little boys. I wanted access to little boys. That's why I became a Boy Scout, because they told me when I got in here, I'd have unlimited access to boys while they're sleeping without their parents, and I can do whatever I want to them. And they'll write up a report and say, oh, this sicko touched this kid. We reprimanded him. And then they buried the paperwork. That's a piece of paper that they can rip up. So Boy Scouts, you guys, if you get a chance, look up the Boy Scouts. Yeah, Scouts Honor, the Secret Files, Boy Scouts of America, and I'm sure there are other ones. Please watch that so that you know. And if your children are in any activities like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, any of those, just note that a lot of them are in that because they want access to your children. Please. And this is shocking, but it's not, because we actually know about this, and we're just, it's coming to the surface right now.
His wife, his future wife, can do what she wants, but I'm just thinking through this. You may want to go try to find you somebody else that's not a pedophile, not a child sex predator, because he's going to prison for a long time. We're going to do our best, because our state attorney, Brian Haas, is the very best. His team is the very best. We're going to try to put them in prison for a long time. So I'm going to start with the chiefs, and then we're going to have our NGOs speak to you for just a second.
I'm glad you guys are all engaged. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We have 265 people consistently in chat. Do hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and then go ahead and share this so we can have more awareness and more people hearing about this and spreading the word, making sure that they do something if they think something. So thank you. I didn't think I was going to play this whole thing, but you guys are really engaged and I appreciate it. So thank you.
Morning. My name is Steve Parker. I'm Chief of Police for the City of Davenport. And I look at these pictures and these numbers, for these operations used to shock me. 150, 200 in one operation. But we do it so often now, it's not surprising anymore. But to me, what is surprising is some of the ancillary crimes and the immoral acts that spawn off of these types of things. Some of the things that Sheriff Judd talked about. To me, that's what's kind of shocking. I want to thank Sheriff Judd and his team and all of our law enforcement partners here in Polk County and in the entire Central Florida area for participating in this type of operation. And these things like this is what we need to bring to the forefront to eradicate this. And these NGOs that stand up here with us, these are the true heroes. These are the ones that stand up here day in and day out and do the hard work. And so we appreciate your hard work as well. Thank you.
I'm Captain Ty Thompson. I'm here on behalf of the Lakeland Police Department. I happen to be the division commander of our Special Investigation Division, who is a participant in this operation. We'd like to thank Sheriff Judd and the Polk County Sheriff's Office for their proactive stance against crimes like this against our community. I'd just like to say, in addition to that, I know that this operation in and of itself is very labor intensive for those detectives and those investigators and law enforcement officers that are involved in it. Not only were they tied up on a very labor intensive operation that lasted well into the early morning hours of every night, that required multiple hours of overtime, they also were greeted by Hurricane Milton on the tail end of this. And some of those very detectives and police officers and law enforcement professionals are still out on the streets of this community trying to put it back together. So I'm very proud to be a part of this law enforcement community in this county. And I'm very proud of the men and women that protect this community. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Chief Chris Velasquez with the Lake Wells Police Department, and I'd like to thank each and every one of the people that are here today and all of those that worked in this operation. It was an amazing initiative. When you think about the number of people, the number of staff that it takes to manage and to run an operation like this, it's overwhelming. But with all of the folks that are partnered here today, this is just a snippet of what we do each and every day in this county. We work together hand in hand. It's all about doing the right thing. It's all about serving the public. It's all about providing justice to the victims. Look at all the people up here. It's easy to think that the police could have better things to do. Well, I want to ask each and every one of you and anyone that's out there watching, if you're thinking that we're out here just going after people that are looking for prostitutes and we could be doing other things, ask yourself how you would feel. Ask yourself if it was your son or daughter that was being victimized. So we've got some slow learners, 3 people rearrested. What will it take? I can tell you right now, I can guarantee you that the people that are up here, this isn't their first time. This is the first time maybe being caught. So this is happening every day. Every day, thousands and thousands of people are being victimized and they're committing these crimes. So we're going to continue until we can do an operation and we get 0. And then we'll still probably try it again just to see what happens. But it doesn't seem like it's going to stop.
It's not. It's not going to stop, y'all. And here's the thing is probably 10 people that are in the background that we're not seeing. One of those people is probably corrupt. One of those people is probably being paid off by a higher up. And as those people stand there and they stand at alert or they smile at you, something behind the scenes is going on with them. They know these people. They've maybe had one of these sex workers for themselves. That's all I got to say about that. So when you think that you're dealing with the good guys and you see these guys just because they're dressed up doesn't mean that they're helping. Who do you think the people are that are helping these people come across the border, traffic people? It's the good guys. It's the good guys that are doing that. It's the higher ups that are doing that. So keep that in mind too. When someone smiles at you, it doesn't mean that their smile is genuine.
Good morning. My name is Jody Domingue. I am the Vice President of Program Operations and Public Policy. I oversee One More Child's direct care services to trafficking survivors in Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Ohio, and also our prevention and legislative efforts nationally and globally. I would like to just offer our sincerest gratitude to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. I would also like to thank the Florida Human Trafficking Victim Fund in partnership with the Florida Sheriff's Association that provided critical resources for this operation. Because of them and our faithful partners at One More Child, we once again were able to be on the ground offering services. These services included advocacy, mental health counseling, lived experience mentorship. You're going to hear from one of our mentors today, translation services, which are much needed, safe shelter, and much, much more. And we offer these services not only to the individuals who are able to be identified immediately as human trafficking survivors, but also those who are not ready to identify, those who are not ready to exit a life of sexual exploitation. What we know is that the majority of people who enter into a life of prostitution are doing so under the age of 18 years old. So what that means is almost every individual who walked through those doors has been a victim at one point and offered very little options for their future.
Absolutely, Molly H. Absolutely. Do we want to focus on the ones that need to be focused on and stop them? But I do want people to know, and I have seen people in chat say that some people don't even know that they're being used as a pawn. Some of these girls that are out there doing sex work, they're being used for other things. They're being used for their bodies, and they're being fed drugs, they're being fed things, and they don't even know that they're being used to do things. So yeah, we don't want to blame everybody that looks bad either. We want to blame people that are regular people, and it is all ages, all places, all class, all ethnicities. And when I start playing the Man Dude channel on here and I start going through this, you guys are going to be not only disgusted, but you're going to say, what? That guy was doing that to his 4-year-old daughter, and he has other kids, and he did what? You're not going to, you're going to see what I'm talking about. This is for everyone that wants to donate but aren't able. Thank you, JoJo, for the $5 super chat. Memberships will be gifted soon. Please opt in to win. Friday, we're going to have a really good one. Really good one. Thank you for being here, Tainted Docket, and your comments. And please do hit all the notifications so you can come back and join us.
Future. One More Child is committed to providing better options. We are committed to providing hope for a better future. We also know that we are not going to end this problem by identifying the victims and providing them exceptional services. That's why One More Child is in full support and collaboration of a bill that will be introduced into the legislature called the Human Trafficking Reduction Act. This bill is going to make first-time buyers a felony. Right now, this is a misdemeanor in the state of Florida. The trauma that is caused by being able to purchase a person's body and do whatever you want to it is far too catastrophic. And the resources expended by the Polk County Sheriff's Office and other law enforcement agencies is far too much to be bound to only charging first-time offenses as misdemeanors. We will not arrest our way out of this problem with misdemeanors. It will also provide a secondary route of justice for trafficking survivors to be able to hold accountable those the players that have profited off of their trauma.
And remember, as we sit here today, we started out with Madeline Soto's middle school, Hunters Creek, and a predator being arrested for CSAM and possibly trafficking behind the scenes. We'll find out as it unfolds. And then we got into this with the Disney employee busted in Florida for human trafficking, and then nabbed 157 more suspects that could be involved in all this. So justice for Madeline, and we do hope that there's a Madeline Soto or a Maddie Soto bill that comes out so that we can do better than what we're doing now. We're not doing well when we get a misdemeanor for something like that. Yeah, that you're gonna see it's gonna be mind-blowing when you see the people that get off and get out of cases that were abusing a child for 10 years and they're out in less than 4. You're gonna be outraged, people. So keep in mind that that's what she's talking about here. They want that to stop. And so do we.
It will improve the record relief process for survivors. And finally, it will provide more tools to law enforcement agencies to catch the bad guys, something Polk County Sheriff's Office does better than anybody else. I want to thank Sheriff Judd, the detectives here today, the different partners that we get to partner with for another successful operation. Because of you, bad guys are off the streets. And because of you, survivors now are on their path to healing and have a hope for a better future. And if you are watching this and you have been coerced or forced or convinced that you need to sell your body for profit, I'm here to tell you there is help. There is hope. Reach out to One More Child or any of the hotline numbers that will be provided to you today. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Christina Santiago, and I'm here today as a survivor, leader, and mentor with One More Child Anti-Trafficking Mobile Team. I am honored to stand here today with Polk County Sheriff's Office and with many other amazing organizations that are continuously fighting for survivors to be seen and heard. It wasn't until 2020 when I heard the words human trafficking. I came across a video on YouTube where a young woman was sharing her trafficking story. Much of what she shared, I identified with. It was like a light switch that went off, and I realized that someone out there, miles away from me, walked in similar shoes.
Yeah, this is a thing that's semi-new as far as language goes to social media. And all of a sudden, we're hearing trafficking, trafficking, trafficking. And some of these girls, and like she's going to explain, didn't even know that they were being trafficked, didn't even know that they were being used in that way while they had needles coming out of their arms or baggies full of fent, that they were hooked on fent. They had no idea that that was actually happening to them. So this lady's going to explain that. And God bless her. God bless her for getting through this, being able to talk to other people, because many people don't get to survive in the way that she did and come out looking like a normal person that's not sitting there out panhandling on the sidewalk with no teeth and half a brain left, because she knew that she was being used. All right, let's listen to her.
I said to myself, my abuse has a name. I went down this rabbit hole and began searching what is human trafficking. Much of my exploitation took place in high school due to having vulnerabilities, which made me a target for exploitation. I was manipulated, groomed, and through coercion, it led to the start of my trafficking. Towards the end of my senior year, I was assaulted, which resulted in an unwanted pregnancy, which I was later forced by my trafficker to have an abortion. As a survivor, my story did not end there. I have spent the last 8 years healing through therapy and support from loved ones. During the last 2 years, I have been given the opportunity to use my experience to better serve other survivors. I am grateful to advocate for other survivors and to use my own personal experience when partnering with law enforcement during these operations. If you are watching this and can identify and are in need of help, please reach out to our organization here at One More Child. The scars from my past serve as a reminder that not only did I experience a difficult situation, but I made it through. Scars are not only a sign of trauma, but they are also a sign of healing. After all, there is no scar until the wound is closed. My scars help others know she gets it. And today, my mess made room for my message, and my purpose is to now serve as a mentor to those who are hurting. Thank you for your time.
This is what I would imagine Maddie would be if she would have made it through it. Every time I see something like this, I see someone being trafficked or CSAM, and all, I can't think of anybody else but Maddie, because all of this is being brought up. All the things in Florida are starting to relate. Us seeing this CSAM guy, that the Homeland Security was that they found images. They must have been looking at other images, bigger things, maybe rings. Maybe they found him because they were digging through Santa's stuff, or maybe Stephen Stern said something. We don't know yet. Synth says every pimp today has Telegram. Yeah, social media is a big thing, but I would imagine Maddie being like this lady here and helping people. So let's hope that the Madeline Soto Act does come out and it does make a difference. And that can't happen until we know exactly what's going to happen with Stephen Stearns and what really went down. We can't get those laws in place just yet. Every pimp today is on Roblox. Thank you for saying that, Mama Duck. That's scary.
Good morning. My name is Katie Ann Parchment. I'm the Resiliency Coordinator for Heartland for Children and also the co-chair for the Human Trafficking Task Force that covers Polk, Highlands, and Hardee counties. First, we would like to extend our gratitude to Sheriff Judd and the many men and women in law enforcement who took part of this operation. The level of compassion, professionalism, and determination to identify victims of human trafficking and their traffickers is unmatched. The gift of working collaboratively with other NGOs and law enforcement to provide immediate intervention and support is a model that is unique to the Polk County Sheriff Department. This collaborative approach fosters information sharing and a broad spectrum of expertise that oftentimes lead to innovative solutions to combat human trafficking. Having the ability to provide a trauma-informed environment when speaking to potential victims allows for enhanced communication and reduced trauma triggers during this process. I'm confident that I can speak for myself and the other NGOs involved that being able to meet and pour into the men and women who we meet during these operations is more rewarding and inspirational than you could ever imagine. Heartland for Children works hand in hand with the Department of Children and Families to provide intervention, services, and support to help protect children at risk of abuse, neglect, or threatened harm. Through services that can help foster behavioral changes and prevention programs to help strengthen families, our mission is to protect children and help support families to self-sufficiency. We understand that sometimes being in this life is a means of survival.
And Emma, I want to bring this up because, I have a son that was once a child, and he had Roblox and Minecraft. And when I go to my daughter's school, every child in there that's they're on their computer doing homework has Minecraft and Roblox. I mean, I definitely monitor my daughters. I have it on mine, and I'll let her play Minecraft and build her stuff. They can build it without being online, but almost every child plays Roblox and Minecraft. Go to a school if you have children and ask the kids in the class what they're playing nowadays, what games are going on, what they like, and they're going to tell you this. So you can't stop this from happening. If the children hide it from you that they're playing the game, then you're not going to even know what's going on. They're going to hide it and you're going to know nothing. It's kind of like the trafficking going on. Now that sex work is not legal in many places, they have to do it the way that they've been doing it, undercover, behind the scenes, so they don't get any protection. So you gotta really think of that when you're talking about Roblox, and don't let them have it, or don't let them have Minecraft. You got to monitor them. You can't take stuff away. You got to monitor it. Jojo, did you get? Wow, thank you for the 20 Guilty of Crime memberships. Wow, I hope you guys get a membership for Friday. It's going to be awesome. And Michelle, you're absolutely right. They're overcrowded. That's why they're letting these people out. Yeah. Thank you, Jojo. I think everyone's going to get a membership today. Thank
There
you.
are several free resources available to help people experiencing difficult times. You can reach out to findhelp.org for free resources. The Department of Children and Families Hope Florida program, the Hope hotline number is 1-833-GET-HOPE. United Way's 211. The National Human Trafficking Hotline, 1-888-373-7888. The Florida Department of Children and Families Abuse Hotline, 1-800-96-ABUSE. And then the Florida Human Trafficking Hotline that you can report directly to law enforcement, 1-855-FLA-SAFE. Lastly, I would like to leave anyone currently functioning in survival mode with a few words. You are wonderfully and beautifully made, and don't let anybody else tell you any differently. You are not your past or your current circumstances. Your resiliency will serve as an amazing testimony in the future, so don't give up. Healing takes time and trauma triggers come in waves. However, there are several resources and supports throughout our community that can help you with your healing journey. Take a chance on you and reach out for help, because there is several services and referrals available out there to help you through that journey. And even though some days will be hard, you will have to learn a new norm, and your resiliency will help you through and help you to understand that you deserve love, safety, and happiness. Thank you.
We do these operations to save the victims. And we do these operations to save the victims because they're important to us. And ladies, you will never understand just how great you are and what a dynamic process we have now, because you join us at every operation, every step of the way. And we can turn these potential victims over to you immediately, not with some bureaucratic paperwork. But I want to close with this. Imagine for a second, a country where we had border security, where we did not spend millions upon millions upon millions of dollars dealing with illegal people coming across the border.
And yes, remember what he's saying is very powerful. We all have to get along to make things happen, to make changes happen. And Clark, if you didn't see my email, I message you back. I love you. It's all good. I like that you have an opinion. I like that you have your political views. I love that you hold strong to what you believe. And it doesn't matter to me who you vote for, or any of you guys, as long as we're working together and not fighting against each other. Whatever that means to you, just make that happen. I don't want to fight with anyone because you're a Democrat or a Republican or whatever. I don't want people in here. I don't want illegals in here and giving money to them either. We're all on the same page about that. I think we don't want trafficking. We don't want prostitution. We don't want more fentanyl coming in or leaving. We don't want any of that.
The wide open border, welcome with open arms, and given resources for just being illegal in our country. Imagine if we closed the border and could take those resources and spend them on the victims of human trafficking. Imagine if we could take those resources and spend them on those that are suffering from mental illness and drug addiction in this country. There is enough money being wasted by the federal government and the executive branch to make a huge dent in the mental health issues, to the drug addiction issues, to the human trafficking victims of this country, if we just cut the border off and quit causing not only the federal government to spend, we're not even talking about the trickle down of the additional millions and millions that state and locals are spending that amount to billions. Imagine that we could have a country where we spent that money on people that are citizens here that deserve to have the help that they need, that they can't afford, that their families can't afford. And if we keep doing the same old thing, we're going to end up
get the
with the
same
same
result.
old problems magnified. The border's wide open. The federal government is a player in the crime that's occurring in this country because of people like these illegals coming here to commit crime. God bless you all. We'll see you at the next operation, and I'll guarantee you we'll be back. If we didn't get you in this operation, we'll get you in the next.
That's awesome. And you know, he couldn't have been more clear about what he was saying. I couldn't agree with him more. Yeah, politics aside, we must secure borders just like we do with our homes. That I agree with. And if we want a different result, we have to do different things, everybody. We cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. I know that's very cliche, but you guys, what he said was real. It means something. True, we have Elon head of the Department of Government Efficiency. Right. All right. Well, I love you guys. I'm going to be back tomorrow and do what I was going to do tomorrow. So tomorrow, let's come back and talk about Stephen Stearns and how to approach him. We're going to go over the Mandu, one of the interviews with the people that are trying to get parole, and you're going to be disgusted, but I want you to realize what is happening with these chomos and why are they being let out. And the only way we can do anything is if we're aware of it. I wasn't aware of the extent and how bad that it actually is until I started seeing these people getting parole after 4 years of doing what Stephen did to Maddie. I don't even know. Mrs. Italy D, welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And congratulations to all the new members. Thank you, JoJo. I appreciate you. And hit the like button on your way out. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?